All right, so this is another article that I have. This is from Better Health, and just get more what they say about anger. So, some people have very little control over their anger and tend to explode in rages. Raging anger may lead to physical abuse or violence. A person who doesn't control their temper can isolate themselves from family and friends. Some people who fly into rages have low self-esteem and use their anger as a way to manipulate others and feel powerful. The constant flood of stress chemicals and associated metabolic changes that go with ongoing unmanaged anger can eventually cause harm to many different systems of the body. So, like the other article we read before, it talked about how it messed with your heart. But this article says it doesn't just affect your heart, it also affects your whole other body systems. You have so many body systems. You have the circulatory system, which is your heart. You have the lymphatic system. You have all these systems, the digestive system. All of these systems help to make our body what it is and function properly. So you getting angry all the time just because of little things, because you just cannot control yourself, you have no rule over your spirit, that's going to cut down your lifespan. And not just that, you can end up having low self-esteem. You may feel you can use your anger to manipulate people and just feel powerful in general. And as Israelites, that's not how we're supposed to be according to the Bible. As teen girls, that is not how we're supposed to be according to the Bible. Also, so section 3. So this talks about righteous anger versus sinful anger. So we want to keep in mind how there is a time for everything, and including there's a time to be angry, because as teen girls, anger is a common emotion, and it's not something you can just hide. Like, if you can be angry, okay, be angry, but be angry and sin not. So in Proverbs chapter 16, verse 32, it talks about how we need to be slow to anger and how we need to control our emotions, because a lot of the time, especially teen girls, like I get it, of course, like we get emotional and stuff, but when we get older to become young women, you cannot like have so much emotionalist, if that makes sense. Like, you can't just have your emotions just spreading out everywhere and you just don't have control over them. Because one of the big things, especially for quote unquote black women, what they like to say is, oh, the angry black woman or the angry Hispanic woman, things like that. And they put these names on us, and that is not how we're supposed to be. So especially as teen girls, if you just keep being angry, you're just adding on to that stereotype, that byword that they call us. And that is not what we need to be called. So yes, we need to have control over our emotions. And also, not just that, so okay, yeah, you can be angry, but don't sin, because how you control your anger is what matters the most. So, okay, let's say you're angry, right? Are you thinking about hurting someone? Are you thinking about cursing someone out? Are you thinking about calling this person out of their name? Are you trying to fight this person? Keep in mind, all while you're angry, you're not thinking straight and you're not making good judgments. Are you thinking about trying to, like, bring this person down to their lowest because you're going to say something like, yeah, I can say this to her and she's going to be brought down so bad. And mind you, you're angry. So apparently that could feel good to you, and that is totally wrong. Or when you're angry, are you like, okay, let me go to the other room and calm down? Or let me just sit down, take a couple deep breaths, and just chill out. That's what you got to think about. So when you are angry, what do you do? What do you think about? Because I said, when you're angry, you just can't think properly. So you want to make sure you get that in check. Also, when you're angry, like I said before, you do not want to do or say something that you will regret no matter what. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care who the person is. Just, you don't want to say anything that will eventually hurt whoever it is you're angry at. So yeah, that's section 3. Alright, so now we are on section 4. So solutions to dealing with anger. It's like, okay, I gave you your scriptures, I gave you the articles, But now let's get to some more solutions. And these are also some things that I like to do. Because of course I'm not saying, oh, I don't have the emotion of anger. No. Of course I still get angry at times, but not like how I did before, and it's much less than I did before. To the point where it's not really a problem. Alright, so here are some ways to deal with anger. So for example, you could study specific scriptures on anger like the ones I gave you and just meditate on them. Or you could journal. So okay, when you're angry, you just think so much and you cannot think properly. So instead of retaliating on someone or something, just grab your journal and just start writing down all your thoughts just to keep you sane so that you can keep track of all the times you're angry and be like, oh, last year I was dealing with A, B, C, D, F, G, but now this year when I looked at my journal, I overgrew it. I passed that. So now I'm growing. I'm continuing to be less angry. And that is what you want to see. You always want to see change. Not just that, you can also speak with your parents. You have your parents, so speak with them. Hey, dad or mom, how do you deal with anger? What do you do? What do you say? What do you think? Because adults, I'm sure, well, some of them don't, but adults deal with anger too. So you want to make sure, okay, how do you deal with it? So that's very important. Or you could talk with a close friend or peer. So be like, you know what? Because of course they'd be the same age as you. So you could be like, okay, I'm dealing with anger. Help me to help you. How do I deal with this? How do I overcome this? So yeah, another thing I love to do this is hobbies. So for example, I play guitar, sing, dance, all that stuff. I do all these things to remove negative emotions. So you could end up picking up a hobby, whether it's cooking, which is a very good one, playing an instrument, singing, dancing, making beats, whatever it is, even writing stories, just to keep you out of being angry all the time or get your mind off what makes you angry. Because at the end of the day, you cannot control everything. Also, like I said, you just need to take the time to chill out and all that. So, in Philippians 3, verse 13 through 14, it talks about how we must forget the things that are before and to press on forward with the Most High. So, why are you worried about what was making you angry last year? Why are you worried about that? No, forget it and move on. So we are not supposed to dwell on our anger or what makes us angry. So, okay, last week you slipped up and you just had a burst of anger. Okay, don't do it again. So grow, work on it. And also, even the Most High is slow to anger. So that's enough of an example for us. Because if the Most High is slow to anger and he has that patience with us, like in Psalms 103, verse 8, it talks about this. This is how we need to be. Alright, so section 5, closing. So just remember that you can be angry, but you must do it without sin. So you must control your anger and not dwell on the things that make you angry. You have to have the mindset of, I can't control everything. It is what it is. So, this is your host, Havila, closing out Virtuous Voices. Thank you for listening.